shot for you to go fund yourself. So there's another grand here in a few minutes. 35192, by the way, if you want to text me, if you listen on the iHeartRadio app from anywhere outside of Ohio, if that's the way that you get the show, tell me where you do that, and I'll put you on our map of bureau chiefs, whether you be in Kansas or Missouri or wherever. Dan is a listener in Burgettstown, PA, outside of Pittsburgh. Mary's in D.C. Stephen is in Hermitage, Tennessee, and on and on and on. Speaking of Missouri, one of the Show Me State's biggest exports, not only in actual girth, but also in importance in this industry, is Rush Limbaugh, who is from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And he announced today that he has advanced lung cancer. And I'm very ambivalent about this because, listen, you feel one way about Rush Limbaugh or you feel the other way about Rush Limbaugh. I can't recall one thing I've ever heard the guy say that I agreed with. But that's not a fun thing to be looking at. Mm-mm. And I can't help but think of the radio stations that rely on Rush Limbaugh for their livelihoods, essentially. AM radio. He's not on FM stations, but AM radio still largely exists because of Rush Limbaugh. Whatever controversy he's ever generated has never resulted in this company, by the way, which is who pays him. This company syndicates his show. And he has hundreds of radio stations around the country. And so whatever you think of the guy, his stature in broadcasting is solid. But I'm curious, I mean, I don't know what advanced lung cancer means. You always see the guy with a cigar. Yeah. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I don't know if that's got something to do with it.
That's more mouth cancer, I think, right? Because that's more...
I don't know.
I mean, I guess you're getting tobacco smoke, but you don't inhale cigar smoke. But
you don't?
No.
If you're a real man, you do.
You're not supposed to. It can make you super sick.
Yeah, it's real bad.
It's a struggle for me because I had to inform my staff earlier today. And I can't escape, even though people are telling me it's not the way to look at it. I can't help but feel that I'm letting everybody down with this. But the upshot is that I have been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. Diagnosis confirmed by 2 medical institutions back on January 20th.
Why do you say the upshot is that I've been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer?
No.
That he found out, maybe? Listen, to the pantheon of legendary broadcasters in this business, it's basically Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh. They are at diametrically opposed ends of the political spectrum. And people forget that Limbaugh is still a radio entertainer. So there's a lot of bombast and there's a lot of hyperbole. I think the guy believes what he believes. I'm not suggesting he's faking anything.
He is a little one-sided, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine, but that's what his audience wants.
I'm just saying,
that's what that audience wants.
We hear that, and I go, this guy's not really playing for both. He's not looking at things very objectively.
Well, he never said he was. This guy's never had any pretense that he was anything other than that one side. Mm-hmm. But as far as broadcasting goes, he's a titan in this business.
Yeah.
In middays.
That's people say that was the genius of Rush Limbaugh. And in a way, it really was. One of the least competitive day parts in radio, right? Mornings, afternoons, drive time. Those are your big ones. Rush Limbaugh goes, I'm going to syndicate middays.
Put me in the middle.
Yeah, because who cares?
So what's he on, 11 to 4?
I don't know because stations cut him a certain way. But
I think here he's on 12 to 3.
Noon to 3 here.
Because anytime I get here...
That's what you hear barking?
Well, like when I come back from lunch, I'll hear, the Republicans and the Democrats, and he's just always the same stuff.
Because, whatever controversy this guy has ever generated, calling a woman a slut and petitions to drop advertisers, those things always go away. And when it comes time to re-sign Rush Limbaugh, they always do it. Because he makes stations money.
Yeah.
And he gets ratings. And
How
that's what
old
they
is
care
he?
about. Rush Limbaugh?
Yeah.
He's got to be late 60s. I don't know how old Rush Limbaugh is.
He's not saying they don't give it like a stage 4 or whatever. It's just advanced.
Don't know. What he said is what he said. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He's 69 years old.
Yeah, he is.
He has a net worth of $500 million.
Good God.
So in an
Doing
election
middays.
year, he goes on to say that he will be missing some days for treatment. I don't know what treatment you get for advanced lung cancer. I would think advanced means
This is
stage 4. Like
yeah,
you're
that's what I'm saying.
right. And so, I mean, an election year when you're going to want to be on the air every day, I'm just thinking if this guy dies. I mean, it's not a show you can run best of shows
Yeah.
ad infinitum
No,
because
they
it's
always have-
topical. It's a
yeah.
topical
Yeah.
show.
Yet it always sounds like a best of.
It always sounds like the same
He
thing
said
every
this
day.
before.
But I got to tell you this, and I certainly hope that people at the other end of the ideological spectrum can find it within themselves to not gloat about this, because it's no way. Listen, everybody loves Alex Trebek, right? Oh my God, pancreatic cancer. What are we going to do with Alex Trebek? Because he's apolitical. He's Canadian, so he's got no skin in the game.
He doesn't really care.
He's an American citizen. Rush Limbaugh, though, an extraordinarily divisive public figure. By design, you get people to pick a side. That's how you get a loyal fan base. But I certainly hope that social media is not. I know that it will.
Of course they will.
But I'm getting
Going on him.
I'm getting
Yeah.
soft in my old age, And I have an abiding love for people in broadcasting. And like I said, I can't think of one syllable I've ever heard Rush Limbaugh utter that I agree with. But as a broadcaster, it's amazing.
Yeah.
There's some guys though that are like waiting in the wings, just waiting for that spot to come open, hoping that they can fill that spot.
And they
get
will.
that-
I mean,
yeah.
he has had fill-ins over the years. And when I used to do a national show, I would fill in on a national show that aired on conservative talk radio. I would fill in for Meghan McCain when she was the host of this show. And I was the only liberal on this otherwise conservative. They wanted to mix it up a little bit. And again, I would do it like once or twice a month. But every one of those radio stations had Rush Limbaugh. He was like the linchpin of those radio stations.
Yeah.
Because you'd have like a local morning show, TAMS, Wills and Snyder. And those guys are top notch at what they do. And then you throw Rush Limbaugh in. That's basically what all those AM stations do.
Do you think they're going to let him like appoint who takes his place?
No, it's up to the company.
Up to the company.
If
And
he
I don't think
goes
he-
away.
I don't think he
he's a
cares
guy.
either.
He's a guy that's going to fight to be on the air as long as he can.
Right. But if it's
Yeah.
advanced and he's like, all right, and the next time he goes in, they're like, you have 6 weeks to live. He's like, all right, well, I want my right-hand guy here. Can you put him in or whatever,
I don't know that he has an heir apparent.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, he does his show from his house, so it's not like he's out there mixing it up with the
Oh,
young
that's true.
talent.
Well,
Well, but I'm sure he has to be in contact with some people. He's got to have some people on a staff or...
I kind of lost my thought, but the reason I mentioned that I used to fill in on that I used to do that national show. So there was this guy named Joe Pags. I forget what his name is, Pagarulo or something. Joe Pags, but he ended up replacing Meghan McCain. But he has gone on to. He used to fill in for Rush, but I think he has kind of come up in his own right in this company. So he's a name that immediately springs to mind that might get the Limbaugh thing. I think more likely they would take half a dozen people and spread them out over. I mean,
Like they did with Stern.
Limbaugh's literally on like 300 stations.
Why can't they just get Ann Coulter and just have
She
her?
already does radio.
Oh, okay.
All those Fox people have syndicated radio shows.
But even Ann Coulter's not as mass appeal as Rush Limbaugh, because there's still people that will hear Ann Coulter and be like, I'm not listening to this broad,
I guess.
because of who
Yeah.
like Rush Limbaugh's target audience is.
Right.
Does Meghan McCain still do the show? Because she's on The View, so I don't know if she has time to do that. I never heard it, but
Is she on The View?
no. Is she still doing
On
the radio
radio.
show?
He said Joey
Oh, no,
Pags.
No, she's not doing that.
Okay, I didn't know when she stopped.
Nope. So, who knows? I'm sure that he'll be talking to people and whatever.
For it to be advanced stage cancer, does that mean he waited too long to get checked out before it's too late, or does that mean it was just developing so fast that it didn't matter what time he got checked out?
I don't know. I think a lot of times these people go, I didn't feel anything, and then I went to the doctor, and then they go, you're stage 4. Like, you don't always wake up early in the advancement and go, oh, my lungs, or whatever.
I didn't know how that works. I mean,
I'm sure it varies.
I was like, thank God I don't know anybody with that, that problem, but I didn't know if that means you just don't get checked regularly for cancer, and then you just turn out...
who gets checked regularly for cancer?
Well, I didn't know at a certain point you're supposed to.
There are people, one of my late great heroes, Warren Zevon, these are people who don't like going to doctors. I don't know if Limbaugh is one of those guys. He's a heavy dude. Has he got like a fake ear or something? He was an OxyContin addict. I'm sure he was seeing doctors for something or other over the years. But a lot of people find out that they're sick after they haven't been to the doctor in 15 years because they don't like going to see doctors. Because they're either like, I don't want to know.
Or they don't have insurance.
Well, I mean, if you're a well-known...
Well, that guy, but I'm saying in general.
Yeah, there's a lot of people...
Well, if regular people aren't going to the doctor, I'm talking about, like, professional artists who are like, I hate the doctor, so I don't go, and then they find out,
What
you got
did you hate about the doctor? Did they tell you you're too fat?
Some people
they'd rather not know.
Some people think I'd rather not know. And again, I'm looking right at these texts. I'm getting all these F that guy texts and whatever, and I get where you're coming from.
I don't understand how you
I'm separating the art from the artist here.
Well, and I don't understand. He's still I get it. Even if he's done, you don't agree with what he talks about.
It could be you tomorrow. Never wish bad upon anybody.
That's what I'm saying. You may not agree with his political points or the things that he says, but he's still a dude with a family and people who care about him. Like, you don't want people to die.
That could be your dad. That could be your mom. Like, don't wish anything upon somebody else that you wouldn't want to happen to your own family.
I just feel bad for the cancer because it's got to listen to his show every day now.
I'm stuck in here. Help me.
That's what it was. His lungs were like, we're not putting out energy for this anymore.
The cancer is more...
This is the stuff you're saying, we're done.
The cancer is more advanced than his politics. All right, I got a break. Not break. I want to give you a break for 23 seconds to give you some money. $1,000. A chance for you to go fund yourself. Good luck.
Hey, it's Rover. Go fund yourself. We have your shot at $1,000 now. Text the nationwide keyword SAVE to the number 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's SAVE to 200-200. Good luck and go fund yourself from 100.7 WMMS.
I got a call on the Alan Cox Show After Hours line. You can call that anytime. If you're a podcast listener and can't join us live, you can always call. But anytime you want. 216-986-8903.
Hey, guys. This is Brian, a longtime customer. Just want to say hello and hate the show. Wanted to say congrats to Berea native Mary. I'm a proud BW graduate who did earn a varsity jacket. But great job on your sobriety for almost a year. And also, don't be too hard on Poundcake, because I do believe that Bill did take a dip in the river a while back and did actually contract a water sickness.
We were busting Poundcake's balls because instead of motion sickness, he said water sickness when you're out on a boat.
Bill got water sickness.
But to Brian's point...
And then his eyes shut off.
Shut off! First it shut, then it shut off.
It just shut down.
Yeah, Bill tumbled into the mighty Cuyahoga.
God, I wish I was there for
and
that.
came up with... I would have loved to have seen that.
Nobody saw
amazing.
it either. Nobody saw it.
Just like, whoa.
Just a blah, blah, blah.
It wasn't even that long. It was like literally just
Like
right
you got
over.
baptized.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Hey, Dick.
Hey,
how are you?
Hey, have you ever fallen into the Cuyahoga River, Dick?
No, I can remember. I forget the year. That's the only river in Ohio that burned, wasn't it?
So far.
I think it's the only river.
Yeah.
So far, yes.
Hey, you were speaking of talk show host. Have you heard down here, it's on the sister station, he's nationwide, Bill Cunningham.
Yeah, he's out of Cincinnati. They always called he was one of the only local guys to beat Rush Limbaugh, I think, in the ratings. Because he was kookier than Limbaugh.
Yeah, but there's somebody that I went up to McDonald's the other day. He was from Cleveland and he worked down here, and he took my call. He wrote a book. Have you ever heard of? I'm trying to think. Larry Elder, I got to talk to last week.
You did?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he's one of the few black conservatives on broadcasting.
Yeah, we were talking about this impeachment, and it went over and over. And
sure.
Guys, I'm glad it's over. I think that the Republicans made the Democrats look dumb. Adam Schiff.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what, Dick. Boy, I've never wanted to talk to Dick about sports more.
Right.
Than
when he gets into politics.
Sure. Yeah.
But though
So you didn't hear any high crimes or misdemeanors, is what you're saying, Dick?
Yeah.
You
but
think
I want to tell you
Trump's a
another
trustworthy guy?
You guys a shout out on. He's on really early in the morning. I know you guys don't get up that early. And
Dick, did you watch the Super Bowl?
His name is Ben Mauler.
Did you watch the Super Bowl, Dick?
I watched a little bit of it and I fell asleep.
You fell asleep during the Super Bowl, like that guy that actually went to the Super Bowl and fell asleep. Yeah.
But
at what point did you fall asleep? Did you fall asleep before the halftime show?
Yeah.
So you didn't see Vigelo?
And I fell asleep. I thought the 49ers had it, but the Chiefs outdid them, didn't they?
They did, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you fell asleep. You just thought, hey, how far into it did you fall asleep?
I just hope, I hope. I wrote a letter, one of the Browns beat writers down here, that will the Browns ever be in a Super Bowl, guys, you think?
Not while Patrick Mahomes is around.
Wait. You wrote them a letter and said, will the Browns ever be in the Super Bowl?
D.L. Stewart, he was from Cleveland. He was from up in the Willoughby area.
Okay.
He's been down here, and he retired.
And what did he say?
About Browns fans. So I just write him about when will we ever get a Super Bowl.
Sure. And what did he say?
Probably next year.
Dick, he said one of my fans, it's not going to happen, sir.
Right.
But
Yeah. Well, Terry the Goat went 1-0 in Super Bowl picks,
Yes,
Dick. That's
she
got to make you
did.
feel good. Terry the Goat out in Carlton, PA, picked the Chiefs, and she was right.
Yeah.
Everybody have Dick tonight.
Boy, he was especially all over the place
Yeah,
today.
that was a weird one from Dick.
I could not get a vibe from Dick there.
Trump supporter Dick is real strange.
Well, you knew that was in there. It's just normally he talks about sports. He wants to.
Usually he barrels past whatever we're trying to ask him about. To
Sure.
Just say what he wants to say about the Indians or whatever.
Yeah. Well, listen, he does traffic mostly in fantasy, so it tracks. It's just usually sports fantasy, not political fantasy. All right, let me break. I'm going to have Ministry tickets for you. They have announced that they're going to go on a run with Frontline Assembly and KMFDM. I will be there. I hope you will be too. It is July 13th at the Agora. So if you want to get the Ministry show under your belt, hook that up shortly. 35192 if you want to text for anything else.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio